When did you first realise that this had happened to your mum? Did she tell you, or did you just find out?
No, she didn't. Thankfully, Mum's carer, Colleen, found the invoice under a pillow because Mum was obviously worried about it. She immediately brought it to me, and I had Tuesday night to think about what I was going to do about it. So on Wednesday morning, I rang, pretending to be Mum's carer, and asking Zenith to come down and measure up for more windows and to send the same salesman. We waited for him to come that afternoon, and as soon as he was in, we came in, and the carer filmed while I put those questions to him, specifically why he charged £6,000 for 2 doors that my mother didn't need.
Did you ever get a reasonable answer as far as you're concerned?
Well, he was obviously ashamed, he was obviously shocked, and he was a bit like a rabbit in headlights. So, no, we didn't really get an adequate explanation. My feeling is that he did it because he could. He did it...
And not that it was needed, Alice. We sent an independent locksmith there. What did he find?
50 quid max for a door handle, or it could possibly have been a tiny part, a tiny spring, but 25 quid would have done the door handle. Certainly the doors did not need replacing. And thank you to Neil, who right now is replacing your mum's door handle,
yes.
So,
and doing it for nothing.
Dominic, could we be kind in any way and say that this salesman meant well and was just stupid?
Absolutely not, no. I mean, he would have come in through that door, so he'd have known there was nothing wrong with that door. He'd have known that it was only the mechanism or the door handle itself. And to charge so much money for 2 doors.
And also, must point out, this was a cold call. So people might be saying, well, why did your mum invite him round to look at her doors? This was a cold call, wasn't it?
But Ruth, if you ring my mum and say, can I come and see you, my mum will say, yes, come and see me. Because she's that sort of person. She's a lovely, lovely woman,
and she has a few
wants to help
issues now with her memory and things.
She does. She has difficulty with memory, but particularly with quantification. So she'll find it difficult to understand why you would pay £6,000 for a door handles, which is what she thought she was buying.
Did she, Dominic, did she write the cheque on the day? And also there was some insurance, a direct debit set up.
Yeah, so she wrote 2 cheques totalling nearly £6,000, and she also signed a direct debit mandate to Zenith Stay Bright, which said they would insure the door for accidental damage for an annual continued direct debit mandate of £90.
£90
a year.
And she's already signed that.
Alice, Zenith Stay Bright, the company involved in this, they've issued a statement. I don't know if I've got it here, if you haven't got it, but they're saying as soon as we were made aware of this issue, we cancelled the order. They said they cancelled it, and they're investigating the circumstances and will, wherein if appropriate, take robust action. We have an internal process to aid the protection of potentially vulnerable customers, including working with a leading dementia charity as part of employee training. Before the installation of any Zenith product, the company operates a multi-stage process, including customer callback and surveillancing, including customer vulnerability assessments. Was this followed, do you think?
When you look at the extended version of that video that Dominic shot with the carer, you will see it is very obvious, unfortunately, that Heather is vulnerable. Dominic's mother is vulnerable to somebody coming into her home. That salesman left with a cheque. There is no way that he was working under a company policy that says it protects the vulnerable elderly and does vulnerability checks. No way. Now, if what that salesman did wasn't legally to the letter of the law completely wrong, and we don't know because we weren't there for the 2 3/4 hours that he was in her home.
2 3/4 hours he was there?
Absolutely, persuading her.
I think Alice as well, he didn't go even when Meals on Wheels came and delivered the meal to my mother. He continued to pressurise her to sign those cheques while she was eating food.
It was morally absolutely unforgivable.
Okay.
Now, this
is happening to a lot of people. This is not the only company and not the only elderly person.
No, but Zenith will say they have robust procedures. Well, in July, Zenith pleaded guilty to 10 counts of bad sales practice when Buckinghamshire and Surrey Trading Standards, with other customers just like Heather, complained and bought a fantastically brought a court case, and we're waiting for sentencing now. So Zenith cannot say this is a one-off and that they have a robust system because there are too many cases getting through. And unfortunately, technically, this wasn't a cold call because Heather had bought Zenith products in the past. So they were entitled to telephone her. But they telephoned her on the Monday, and less than 24 hours later, that salesman was in that house for 2.5 hours. That is morally unforgivable.
So funny you say about morally. If any of us were a salesperson in that situation, I think you could spot who you were talking to. There for almost 3 hours, you want a sale. Do you really need the commission that much from a person like that?
This is what we're thinking. We're actually thinking what was going through the salesman head while Mother was writing out the cheque. You can see from the cheque stub that the writing's very shaky. She was obviously very disturbed by it, and he made her write out 2 cheques.
Really?
Which is against company policy
Why
as well.
2?
Because he shouldn't be...
Because one was for the insurance.
One was, no,
That was a direct debit.
Continue an endless direct debit mandate for the insurance, but there was £149 for administration.
Administration?
Yeah, so for actually putting all this together and giving her 2 doors she didn't need or want, they charged her another £150.
Right, well, Alice, as we said, this won't